My name is Oyetola Muyiwa Atoyebi. By the grace of God, the Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Every day I'm ready to take up a new challenge. I'm from Kwara State and of course a family of 4. I work in Omarlex law firm for now as the managing partner. Omarlex started, I think, in the year 2012 or 13. Of course, I'd started Atoyebi SAN and partners before that. Atoyebi and partners before that time. And of course, I wanted a compound name for the law firm. And I took a cue from a few law firms here and there, because usually for law firms, you would have the name of the principal partner, and of course, you have a name with which they stand for, of course, and then I took Omarlex law firm. Omarlex stands for O is my name, Oyetola, M is Muyiwa, A is Atoyebi, P is partners, just like Atoyebi and partners. And the lex behind it is law, so it's Atoyebi and partners law. That's what it is. One of the basic principles that I honestly don't joke with is be the best that you can be at the time that you're working with whoever that you're working with or whatever work that you're doing. And for me, the center of everything you do is you giving your best. And I tell everybody, value is the currency we spend as lawyers.
I remember the first time I met the learned Silk, and one thing I discovered exceptional about him was not just his legal expertise of excellence. He had the feature of humility in him. He was always ready to guide and mentor we, the younger ones, in excelling in the legal profession.
It's one thing for you to know the law, and it's another thing to know the onions that will actually lead you to the highest point in the profession at a very early age, which is one thing I know I'm benefiting greatly.
Working with Learned Silk has been an incredible opportunity for me. Learned Silk genuinely believes in growth of young lawyers.
Some of the things I've learned from him is to be value-driven, result-oriented, and being the best you can be in whatever field you find yourself in.
Interestingly, while I was in university, and because truth be told, and I keep telling everybody, I did not want to become a lawyer for no reason. I wanted to become a doctor. But unfortunately, or fortunately enough, I was pushed into law. My brothers were 4 boys, like I mentioned initially. First one is a doctor, second born an engineer. I'm the third, and I have a young brother that is, my youngest brother is a pilot. And the easiest thing is for everybody to be in the sciences. And in fact, it's an aberration that I'm not in the sciences, because every other person is in the sciences. But at some point, my dad insisted that I should go to the art class, and my mom suggested law. And that's how come I ended up in faculty of law. But at the point I ended up in faculty of law, and before that time, by the way, my mom had told me, be the best that you can be, because I told her I did not want to be in art class. And she told me that the only advice she would give to me, which I still hold on to till today, is be the best that you can be. And I said, no problem. At the point I joined the faculty of law, one of my uncles, the only one, of course, the only uncle that I know that was a lawyer at the time, Chief Joshua Lukayode, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, now a professor. I joined this firm in 100 level, and I worked with him till 500 level. Around 400 levels, some years, that was in 2002, when I joined him. Around 2005, 2006, the current Honorable Attorney General of the Federation, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, was coming to Kwara State, and my boss at the time, because I was working with him, mentioned to us that the God of Law was coming to town, and we had to tidy up the office, ensure that the office was in pristine condition because he was coming. Interestingly, on the set day that I was meant to come, he didn't show up in the office. He called my boss, Professor Oyetola Muyiwa Atoyebi, that we should meet up somewhere at the Kwara hotels then. And when my boss was leaving the office, he beckoned on me to come or to go with him to accompany him to the meeting. Interestingly, of course, it was not for me to enter the meeting with him. Anyways, but we met Prince at the gate. They had about 3 minutes, maximum 5 minutes, and he was actually as if my boss then had seen God, because he was really excited. At the point he came back to the car, I was sitting in front, he looked back and said, there can never ever be anybody like Prince Fagbemi SAN. And I asked him curiously that, why would you say that, or what exactly was the reason why he said that? And he mentioned to me there can never be anybody that would dedicate their lives to law at the time. So I looked at myself. Of course, number one, I did not want to study law. Number two, I did not even find a reason studying it. I was just pushed there. So I said to myself, if the yardstick to become somebody great in the profession was dedicating your life to law, I said I was going to dedicate my life to law. So I made up my mind to dedicate my life to law that day. And then I further asked him, but why is it that young people don't dedicate their lives to the profession? He said he really doesn't know that usually young people, they chase after different things, and for them to sit down and focus, it becomes a problem. And that because he, at the time, that's Prince Fagbemi, was the only senior advocate that took silk at the time, right, at 10 years post-call, he said there can never ever be anybody like Prince Fagbemi SAN. So I said to myself, number one, I'll dedicate my life to law, and perhaps if I also can pursue the rank and ensure that perhaps I get it at that early stage. Honestly, I did not pursue it to think that I was going to be able to break his record, because of course there was nobody in my family that was a lawyer. The best I had was a distant uncle, which is Professor Oyetola Muyiwa. And that was how it started. We got back to the office that day and I went, this is as far back as 2005, thereabout. I read the rules to becoming a senior advocate. And from that day on till I became a senior advocate, I think I practically read it every day. And of course that propelled me into pursuing the rank. One, because my boss had told me there can never ever be anybody like Prince Fagbemi. And number two, nobody can dedicate their life to law. And I decided to dedicate my life to law, pursue it, and try as much as possible to go for it. Interestingly, while I was pursuing it, I met a certain gentleman who worked with another law firm who at 6 years post-call had also qualified for the rank at 6 years post-call. Interesting story. So at the point that I met him, that was when I knew that I was not mad looking for the rank. And number two, it now dawned on me that no matter what it is that you're pursuing, somebody else is also pursuing it at the other end. Interestingly, myself and the gentleman became friends. He's also a senior advocate today, and by the grace of God, I'm a senior advocate. And of course, so many other things happened while trying to pursue it, in ensuring that by the grace of God, one was able to attain the rank. There was this pressure when I took silk, and of course the pressure was, you've taken silk at young age, let us see what is the reason, why did they even give you the silk, what makes you different from every other person. And it was at that time I realized that I needed to even do extra. Prior to that, my closing hours, or my working hours, are actually crazy. I wake up 5:30 practically every day, and I don't go to bed until about 2:30. I barely sleep like 2.5 hours until maybe perhaps recently the doctor said you need to calm down, young man. But of course, all through the time, I try as much as possible to give my best. And a number of the time I try to share with colleagues to say that the work-life balance, which is a delicate conversation that most people see as delicate, I tell them that it might not necessarily be what it is that we can do for now as young people, because what we don't have in age, we have in time. So I say to all the young people out there, brighten the corner that you are. You're the only one that understands your struggle to the best that you can be. And of course, I tell people that once you do your best, the best of your ability, at some point, heavens will smile on us or smile on you. My hope and really my dream is that there will come a time when young lawyers in profession will realize that without value, you can't go far. Number two, you need to be committed to the profession. And number three, I tell most lawyers in my office that it is not compulsory for you to work in a law firm. It is also not compulsory for you to work under somebody. You can establish your own principles. And if that is the way you want your chambers to be, fine. But I keep telling people that those founding fathers of this profession, F.R.A. Williams, J.K. Ajayi, and perhaps the fathers that we know now, the J.B. Daudus, the Olanipekuns, the Alis, the Usoros, the Alleges that we know, they have given that time to the profession. My name is Oyetola Muyiwa Atoyebi. By the grace of God, a senior advocate of Nigeria. Every day I'm ready to take up a new challenge.